Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm reviewing a pen from a brand I've not looked at up until this point, and that pen brand is Penlux. Now, Penlux has been around for a little while. They're a Taiwanese brand, and they sort of made their, their market, if you will, making parts for other pen brands, including something like their piston mechanism, which is in this very pen. But this is a pen made by Penlux, and let's have a look at it. So this is the packaging, simple cardboard sleeve over a cardboard box. You lift the lid of that cardboard box and there's a piece of sort of packing foam which keeps everything nice and secure. And then we get the pen in a little plastic bag underneath a little strap. Take that out for a second, and underneath the little mattress there, some warranty information and all of that kind of stuff. Important, but not the reason we are here. The pen itself, as I said, comes in this little Ziploc bag, which is a good size for a pen, and also comes with a plastic printed sort of like instruction manual and safety stuff about like, please don't remove the piston mechanism, all that kind of stuff. But if you want to remove the nib to clean it, gives you some instructions on how to do that. I like it sort of printed like this. Like, we need less plastic in the world, but like, I think this is a unique sort of way of doing it. So this is, as I said, well, as the video states, the Masterpiece Grande from Penlux. The Grande model comes in a number of different colors and finishes. This is the solid black with the chrome trim. There is also versions that have different sort of solid colors, and then some translucent colors, and then a few that are sort of more marbled acrylic, or those sort of cracked looking acrylics and things like that. So it depends on where you shop, what they sort of stock, what is available to them, and also the price will differ depending on the version you get. But let's look at the pen. It is an acrylic pen, it is a big pen, it is a classic cigar shape pen. We're going to look at parts and features and all that kind of thing, and then do a writing sample, and I'll talk about some pros and cons. Okay, top of the pen, simple plastic dome, sort of swells out slightly till we get this cap ring here, or clip ring, which the clip is on. It's fairly flexible, and it has a ball on there, like a little, to sort of a wheel, if you will, to, ease, for easier use. It swells out to this cap band, which has these sort of like little dimpled rings with a polished ring in the middle of it that says Penlux. Looks very nice. A little step down there to the end of the cap, down onto the barrel. The barrel continues along to a silver ring there, and then the piston turning knob. As I said, it is a piston filling pen. Penlux having been making piston mechanisms for quite a while. The cap screws off in just around 2 1/4 turns, so not too many, but enough to make it nice and secure. The threads there, they're okay. They're not too sharp, they're smooth. There's no you don't notice them so much when you're holding the pen. The section tapers ever so slightly to a little flare on the end, and then we get a number 6 Yovo steel nib, which is there branded with Penlux, with their logo and the word Penlux. And this is, of course, being me, this is a medium. As I said, this is a piston filling pen. The capacity of the piston is not huge. It's about 1 milliliter. There are certainly pistons that can hold a lot more ink, but 1 milliliter is going to get you, a pretty decent amount of writing. It's just a little bit more than sort of most cartridges or converters. The pen is big. It is a large pen, it's an oversized pen, and it's a good size in the hand. It does post, and it posts okay, but it is very long. Now, as you can see there, it's not always straight on. It posts sort of sits on that ring band there, I believe. While it is secure on there for writing, it sort of does move around a little bit. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are a poster of pens, although you probably won't need to with a pen of this size. Being a number 6 Yovo nib, there are a lot of options for this. As you can see there, it has a simple plastic feed. There are a lot of options. It comes with, well, I said I got a medium, but you can get it fine, medium, or a 1.1 from a couple of retailers that I've seen. But being, as I said, a number 6 Yovo nib, anything that sort of sits in that range, you could probably swap onto this pen, so extra fine through to like 1.5 is kind of standard in that nib size, but also, obviously there are a number of other brands that are compatible as well. Time for a size comparison now, and I'm going to put it, of course, alongside sort of the standard Lamy Safari, so you can see sort of it is a fairly fairly big size pen. I also want to put it alongside another large pen, and that is the Visconti Homo Sapiens. And you can see it's bigger than the Homo Sapiens. This is a big pen. This is an oversized pen. I actually have a couple of like pen trays and things that this just doesn't fit into. You can see unposted, it is still a pretty decent sized pen, but this is where the Lamy kind of catches up a little bit, as does the Homo Sapiens. But I think, you know, it still looks a pretty decent sized pen. It has also quite good girth. The posted length, they all sort of come in around the same length. It is a long pen. All of these are long when they're posted. As I've said, my preferred method of writing with this pen is unposted. So what are the dimensions of the Penlux Grande or Masterpiece Grande? Well, it is 149 millimeters when it is capped. It is 132 when it's uncapped. Nice sort of size, and that number 6 nib giving a nice little length off the page. The balance is also very nice. It's got a nice weight in the hand. The posted length is 170 millimeters. So as I said, getting sort of long. The section here is great. I love this sort of size section. It's slightly oversized section at 12 millimeters. My comfortable area is like that 10 to 11, but 12 is nice. It's just big enough that it feels comfortable for me. The pen weighs 33 grams, 22 in the body and 11 in the cap. So it's not a light pen. But I think at 22 grams in the hand, I think that's a nice weight. Adding a third of the weight, you don't necessarily feel that it's back weighted. It's sort of more just the length of this pen that feels a bit long. Like it caps far enough back on the hand that it's not in the way and all of those kinds of things. But in terms of comfort and just sort of ease and, you know, relaxed writing, yeah, unposted is my go-to with this pen. One thing you will notice is that there is no ink window on this pen, so it is impossible to know how much ink you have, and I'm pretty sure I'm running low. I've done a lot of writing with this pen, so hopefully we have enough in here to get a writing sample done. But something to think about in this pen model in the future, you know, is maybe the inclusion of an ink window. So it's a Penlux Masterpiece Grande with a medium number 6 steel nib. The ink I have in this is Monteverde Olivine. Now, one thing I will say about this pen is that I haven't found an ink it doesn't enjoy. Obviously, a lot of pens sort of generally tend to prefer or feel smoother and write, you know, nicer with sort of more lubricated, wetter inks. But everything from Waterman Blue through to inks like this Monteverde Olivine and the Robert Osters and things I've had in here over the last few months have all written very nicely. It's got a nice flow. But as I said, I think this is on the, you know, running out of ink now. So you can see it lays down a nice consistent line. This particular nib is probably not the broadest medium that I have tried from Jowo. It does sort of sit maybe slightly on the finer end. In terms of wetness, it's okay. Like it's perfectly, you know, perfectly fine. It's smooth, it's consistent, and it lays down a nice amount of ink. Reverse writing is actually not too bad. Not that you ever would, you may never need to, but yes, it's possible. It is not a soft nib. Jowo nibs are not flex nibs. You can get it like a tiny bit of variation if you push down, but it's more letting more ink down. The tines aren't actually opening out necessarily. We'll try a little bit of quick writing, see how this ink keeps up given the low level of it. Yeah, it's just not keeping up. The ink on this pen is definitely getting low. I've used this a lot. I really enjoy writing with it, but you can see when the ink is flowing well, it writes beautifully and smoothly, consistently, and yeah, with a very nice flow. So what are the pros and cons of this pen? Well, a little con for me is the lack of an ink window. You can't see into the pen, and I know there are a number of pens that are the same as this, both power fillers, things like even the Visconti Homo sapiens we saw earlier, the original one. But, a little ink window on a pen like this, maybe just sort of around, where the section meets the threads, that kind of area, would probably be quite, quite a good, idea. Like if we, from where it caps to the threads, there's just enough sort of space there that you might be able to get a little ink window in just to let us know how much ink is actually left in the pen. Not so much of a problem on the translucent or transparent models, of course. Another issue, not issue so much as I'm going to put it here in the middle of this, between the pros and the cons, is the price. So, like I purchased this pen myself. It was a pen model I was interested in. This pen, I bought it from a European retailer where the full price is €210, but without the VAT, it's €173, which roughly comes out to about 268 Australian dollars. The US price ranges depending on where you buy from 175 to 200, which once again comes in around the 270 to sort of 310-ish Australian dollar mark. You can buy it for around £150. And, these are all fairly sort of standard prices across a couple of retailers in each sort of price or in each currency. I think, for an acrylic pen with a steel Yovo nib made in Taiwan, I think this is actually kind of just a little bit too expensive, particularly at the higher end of its price points. So around that $300 mark. In saying that, there are a number of pros with this. The fact that it is a number 6 size Yovo nib, which means you could swap it out to any Yovo nib if you decided. I love the size of this pen. It's a good size. It's an oversized pen. It sits big in the hand. It feels substantial, and it's got a great classic kind of look about it. The other thing I like is that it is a piston filler, and the piston is really good. I won't operate it right now, of course, but if you're not familiar with piston filler, you put the pen into a bottle of ink just past the section there so that you can fill up through the back there, and you turn this knob on the end, and it drops and raises a little piston, like a plunger, that creates a vacuum and sucks ink up into the pen. So if I twisted this now, ink would spurt out because it would be pushing the plunger down. Only having 1 milliliter capacity is not the best. There are certainly pens that have a lot bigger capacity, but it is a nice filling system, it's a secure system, and this one works very, very well. So I hope you found this video about the Penlux Masterpiece Grande to be interesting and useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, all of that kind of stuff. If you've got products you'd like me to look at, or if there's a way you'd like to support the channel, please get in touch. You can contact me on this video or my email, which is listed down below, or on any of the other social media platforms where I am. So yes, thank you for watching. And in the meantime, until my next video, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.